Well, it was billed as an investment that would pay dividends to Michigan taxpayers by bringing international businesses into our own backyard.
But it didn't turn out that way at all. 3 years later, it's led to a criminal investigation, allegations of misused money, and taxpayers left footing the bill.
Well, tonight, 7 investigator Ross Jones digging into the controversy that shows no signs of going away.
That is a lot of money to be allocated out to someone that had essentially no experience.
A long-simmering scandal is coming to a boil in Lansing, leading to raids, a criminal investigation, and questions over a connected contributor. At the center of the outrage is a longtime donor of Governor Gretchen Whitmer, who took in millions of dollars through an earmark put into the state budget. It was supposed to bring international businesses into Michigan, but never did.
To say I'm very disappointed would be really not nearly strong enough language.
Now, lawmakers from both parties are asking what role the governor's office may have played in helping to connect an influential donor with money she's accused of misspending.
We have approximately 70 CEOs from various industries.
For years, Faye Baydoun has been a fixture in Democratic politics, donating tens of thousands of dollars to Democrats across the state and more than $20,000 to Whitmer's campaigns. She even hosted a fundraiser for the governor at her home, raising nearly $14,000. And it was Whitmer who appointed Baydoun to the executive board of the Michigan Economic Development Corporation, or MEDC, the state's economic growth arm.
For years, Baydoun worked here at the influential American Arab Chamber of Commerce in Dearborn. That's where she and other leaders first pitched the MEDC on providing the chamber with a grant that they hoped would help spur international business development here in Michigan.
I had insisted that she begin to look into state funding and other funding.
Ahmed Shabani is the longtime chairman of the Chamber of Commerce and was in the meetings with Baydoun and the MEDC. But despite promising discussions, he says the funding the chamber sought from the state never came. Then he got a call from Baydoun, he said, telling him this.
Watch out, you're going to hear some news. I guess an award was made. I said, oh, great, this is for us. She said, no, it's mine. And this was shocking.
Baydoun, he said, would be breaking off from the chamber, accepting a $20 million state grant for her own business incubator program. Her new nonprofit, Global Link International, was incorporated within days of the state budget being passed.
I guess betrayal is an easy word to say. I was felt like a knife went through me, and never imagined somebody whom I supported as a female director, and she knows that. Went out of my way to protect her and encourage her and promote her. Obviously, I wasn't expecting that from her.
Just as shocking, Shabani said, was learning how Baydoun would spend some of those $20 million. As the Detroit News was first to report, more than $4,500 went to a high-end coffee maker. The Jura Z10 came in diamond white and with all the bells and whistles, including a $249 cup warmer. Tens of thousands of dollars were spent on office furniture, including more than $2,000 on a single executive office chair. More than $11,000 went to buy a round-trip plane ticket to Budapest. Baydoun flew business class. Some $40,000 went to lease 2 fully furnished apartments. Baydoun reportedly said they could be used for startups lured to the state. More than $100,000 was doled out to consultants and attorneys. And then there was Baydoun's salary, $550,000 a year.
There was a shock. It was things that were not normally reasonable. I would never personally, as a chairman, allow a grant to be used for such purpose.
In records filed with the state, Baydoun would defend her salary, calling it in line with compensation of executives from organizations with similar missions and budgets. But she did pay back the money for the coffee maker and reimbursed about half the price for the business class ticket to Budapest. She said she also paid back money for the fully furnished apartments.
You have exactly 0 experience, and one of the first things you do is pay yourself $500,000. That jumps off the page at me.
Representative Jay DeBoyer heads the House Oversight Committee, currently probing the $20 million grant. When questions were raised about how the earmark made its way into the state budget, Whitmer's office wouldn't comment on its role, but said it was former House Speaker Jason Wentworth who sponsored the grant. Wentworth said he did no such thing.
I am not opposed in theory to the right incubator, but I believe that we have to have a lot more guardrails around it.
Last year, Attorney General Dana Nessel's office began to probe the grant, even raiding Baydoun's Farmington Hills home and the MEDC headquarters in Lansing. No one, including Baydoun, has been charged with any crimes. Nessel has said the governor is not a target of the probe.
I am very troubled by what I have come to read in newspapers, and any individual grantee who gets money and is not lawful with it or is inappropriate with those dollars should expect to be held accountable.
In March, following outrage over the grant and Baydoun's spending, the MEDC terminated the deal altogether. Of the $10 million doled out to Baydoun so far, the MEDC wanted $8.2 million back.
There was not a single startup that was actually incentivized to move to Michigan. In this case, there was all operating costs and no investments.
Neil Tanadar is executive director of the Michigan Campaign Finance Network, who helps follow the money in Lansing. He says earmarks benefiting the politically connected are nothing new in Lansing, often buried in budgets or passed with little information known even to lawmakers. He said new rules to require earmark transparency could make deals like this one harder to come by.
I think a lot of these things were happening 5 or 10 years ago. They just weren't being investigated this loudly.
Faye Baydoun declined to comment for this story, referring questions to her attorney, who also declined comment. Previously, she said her business incubator program is based on her belief that attracting foreign talent to Michigan is a public service that will yield immense economic benefits. She stressed her decades of experience as a successful businesswoman and said that while she reimbursed some of those questioned expenses related to this grant, she rejects any insinuations of wrongdoing and says she's been fully transparent. I'm Ross Jones, 7 News, Detroit.
No matter what happens, if you're spending taxpayer money, you should expect there to be strings attached and people following up on it. And it is encouraging that someone was paying attention to where these funds were going.
Well, the investigation is open now, so
Yes.
we'll see where the trail leads and what happens after all of the fallout. But